We're in the thick of it. But one of the key things for me here actually was what came out of the statement from Mark Kasowitz, Donald Trump's personal attorney, when he said, look, what was reiterated here was that the president is not under investigation in connection with the Russia and the elections, but he also said there's no evidence that a single vote changed as a result of any Russian interference. And this cuts to the core of what we're trying to investigate here, doesn't it?
Julia, you're absolutely right. A remarkable day here on Capitol Hill as the former FBI director testifying for the first time publicly since President Trump fired him. But there is now, according to the Republicans I'm talking to, no question about Russia's involvement into the presidential election. The question, though, that has divided from a political standpoint is whether or not President Trump obstructed justice. Now, some of the top Republicans who have criticized President Trump heavily in the past, like Senator John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, have all defended this president, somewhat surprisingly to some folks, and saying that there was not an obstruction of justice. But I caught up with Senator Rubio after the hearing to ask him point blank about what the president could do to respond to, again, Russia's interference in the election. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I don't think it's a question of if they interfered. I think it's a question of how. And to the extent that that interference involved interaction with Americans, I think the president would be interested if some of those Americans were people that somehow were connected to his campaign. According to Director Comey, the president himself agreed that if there are satellites, as he called them, associated with his campaign who did something wrong, it would be good to know about it.
Now, Senator Lindsey Graham has a bill that would increase sanctions against Russia that is due, of course, for consideration within the next couple of weeks. That has to be approved by the Senate Banking Committee. I spoke with the chairman of that committee yesterday. And, of course, this comes on the day when the House is expected to move a bill that would repeal parts of Dodd-Frank. According to Senate Banking Committee Chairman Mike Crapo, Julia, they're not going to be able to take up any of those legislative priorities until first they deal with Russia.
All right.